AM 1340, FM 92.1, WCSR. It's our final segment of the Charger Roundtable 2010, and taking a look at the schedule, Bongo, you mentioned the first three games, and boy, we're going to know a lot more about this squad after those three games.
Oh, no doubt. After the Ferris game, of course, comes Grand Valley, at Grand Valley, then Ashland, at Ashland. Of course, Ashland's got a beautiful new facility, a brand new stadium, and we saw part of it last year. Looking forward to seeing it this year. Then, and all that comes before a home game against Lake Erie. And talking to Brad, we should kill Lake Erie.
Don't put that on me. Wait a minute.
But you never know. You know, I mean, they're a brand new program, and they're just coming into Division II and into the GLIAC, so it'll be interesting. They were provisional last year. But the first two games away at Grand Valley, now I'm going to tell you right now, somebody said, well, what's your predictions for the year, Bish? And I said, Chargers, 11-2, and this will be the best chance ever that they've had an opportunity to beat Grand Valley at Grand Valley with a new coach, a new offensive coordinator. Of course, we know they've just reloaded, and it would be a monumental victory for Hillsdale. But I'm predicting that it could happen this year, and I think I predicted that last year, that we'd beat them at home, and I'm saying that we got an excellent chance of beating them on the road.
11-2 would indicate some playoff action, right?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm just trying to read between the lines there a little bit. Ferris at home, that is Friday night, everybody, a week from this Friday, 7 o'clock, September 3rd, under the lights. And, Brad, I know you love Frank Muddy Waters Stadium under the lights, and you're excited about the night game.
Well, it's going to be our third home night game in 5 years, and it's everything about it's different. It's a different vibe about the crowd, even just up in the press box. It's there's a little more, hair standing on the back of your neck kind of thing. I like that we scheduled it for that day with all the high schools playing on Thursday night,
right? And
it kind of frees that day up. And I think especially for our veteran guys, maybe a little bit of nostalgia for them lumbering out there on a Friday night under the lights. I think our field just glows under those stadium lights, and it's an atmosphere that I just enjoy immensely.
Andy Losik, did you ever play a college night game?
Yeah. We one of our big wins in 1992 came against Ashland earlier in the season, a night game, and Mike Doherty banged home a field goal to beat Ashland, and we ended up as co-champions of the league that year, but with Ashland and Grand Valley and Butler, four-way tie for the championship. But that was a big win that I remember happening underneath the lights, and we actually played at least one or two. Another game I guess I kind of snuck into. We needed a linebacker, and I was the closest one. One of my vivid memories that come back is Coach Otterbein and his quarterback, Billy Love, zipping a ball right over the top of my head that I never even saw coming under the lights. So, yeah, it is special, and it's great great atmosphere. One of our great upsets a few years back when things were down during the Dave Dye era came against a very good Ferris State team under the lights. So, yeah, lots of great memories of Muddy Waters Stadium night games for me.
The Chargers' first three games this year are all night games. Home, 7 o'clock on September 3rd, and then the two road games you guys mentioned, at Grand Valley, at Ashland, both 7 o'clock starts. And then they have only one more the rest of the season. On September 25th, Lake Erie College at home against Hillsdale College at 1 o'clock. October 2nd, Saginaw Valley at home against Hillsdale College at 1 o'clock. And then the trip down to Ohio Dominican. I hope Dave Johnson's coming on that trip because I have no clue where that place is. Michigan Tech, thank the Lord, is a home game this year. It's a 1:30 kickoff. And then the two road games, October 23rd and October 30th, at Wayne State and at Northwood. Those are both noon starts. And then the last two games of the year at home, Findlay and Tiffin, kind of the Ohio duo there, 2:30 against Findlay on November 6th, and then November 13th versus Tiffin at home. A lot of different start times, Brad. For many years under Mr. Kowalczyk, it was always 2:30 every single kickoff. It seems like they have decided to kind of vary and mix up those start times a little bit.
Well, in particular, we had wanted to push back the Michigan Tech game out of respect for Michigan Tech and the integrity of their travel, so they're not getting home at 6 whatever in the morning. That's a parents' weekend, so we kind of had to strike a compromise of 1:30 for that. you know, 1 o'clock start time, I think, especially as you get later into the year, you're playing under more natural light for a longer period of time. I don't think there was a great deal of deep thinking. Just, let's just play at 1 o'clock and see how that goes. You know, we've got certainly a fair share of night games. But when I look at the schedule, I think the game I'm looking forward to the most is October 2nd at home against Saginaw Valley. We got guys on our team that remember the end of the 2007 season and how much the loss to them stung, because we were really in the playoff mix at that time, and Saginaw just nipped us. And these two teams kind of looked at each other from afar as having good seasons last year. Both made the playoffs. And I think it's going to be just an excellent, excellent matchup when we get Saginaw here. It's probably the game on the schedule, at least the home game, I'm looking forward to the most this year.
I want to go around the group now and kind of give all of you a chance to give your predictions and your rationale for them. Dan has already come out and said 11-2, and a win on the road at Grand Valley would be incredibly sweet. And I don't know that I'd make it out of that press box alive, but I'd try, and that's for darn sure. But let's kind of go around the group and kind of get your idea for the season as far as a prediction and anything else you want to add. And Andy Losik, we'll start with you.
All right, I'm looking right now. I've been crunching the numbers a little bit here, but I really like the way the schedule sets up and the way that our guys play at home. And you have some of your tougher opponents, Saginaw Valley at home, which I think is a great advantage, getting those guys back finally on the schedule. Michigan Tech picked 9th by the coaches, but I think they're going to be a lot tougher than that, and having them at home and not having to make that trip is a plus. And the same can be said November 6th with Findlay. Findlay's one of those teams that surprised some people last year, bit us, and I know our guys will be looking to avenge that a little bit. And the way that the schedule sets up with those key games being at home, I think really helps. And then, you know, Ashland, like Grand Valley, they've got some of their own issues. They have the blessed one, if you follow any of the D2Football.com hype, the message board hype from Ashland fans, Tyler Housewright, a homegrown Ashland kid, is going to try and step up and take the reins from Billy Cundiff. And so, you know, we get him early in the season and might have a chance to rattle him a little bit as he settles in. And then that Grand Valley game, like Bisher said, you know, anything can happen up there. They have a lot of changes that they're making, and I feel really bad for the kid, but the team doesn't get a whole lot of sympathy, and that's Danny Richard, the All-American defensive lineman for Grand Valley's out for the year. They went in to scope the knee, and they found a completely torn ACL there. So, you know, there's chinks in the armor all the way down this late, and so, you know, I would love to see us go 10-3. I think that would be a huge success for this program, especially with all the pieces that we're replacing this year.
Well, it sure beats the heck out of 4-7, 4-7, 4-7, as we'll never forget. Brad Monastiere, obviously, and you're kind of in a different capacity, actually working for Hillsdale College, but I know that you're also a fan of the team and the program. How does it set up for you?
Well, I was not a math major in college, so I didn't know how much number crunching that I do. But obviously, the first 5 weeks I think are key. When you got Saginaw, Ashland, Grand Valley, 3 of the first 5 games. I remember a year ago looking at the schedule thinking 9-2. Now I must say I didn't know that Findlay would be a loss and Grand Valley would be a win. That's how we ended up. I see 9 wins on this schedule. I think that's possible. Any prediction of an individual or team sort is predicated on health and injuries, of course. That does not apply just to our team. That applies, I think, to any team. So I think that this team will gain a measure of toughness in these first 5 weeks. And you get to about the middle of October on, a lot of very winnable games there. Again, all predicated on health, predicated on our guys just staying healthy. I don't think focus or hunger is an issue for this team.
Right.
So, and going to Grand Valley in week 2 is a great time to play them. You know, they're breaking in a lot of new people. And even though we lost on that field in the playoffs last year, the guys remember very well that we have beaten them, and the lingering sting of having our season end on that field may be a positive motivator for our guys. So, I see this recent